In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this keyhole bubu outfit. It can be made into a long dress or a top like I made mine. I made use of about 2 yards of thick chiffon fabric. You're welcome to Kemafric. My name is Kemi Omorugbe. I'm so pleased to have you here. Enjoy the video. Pieces like this can be created by working directly on the fabric, but I just love to do mine on paper first. I feel that way you see it more clearly. So I'm starting by marking out my neckline of 3.5 inches, and here I am marking the shoulder width of 7.5 inches, and of course the neck depth of 3.5 inches. Now I won't even make use of this neck depth. I'll be modifying the neckline just a tiny little bit. So remember that we always drop our shoulder, right? I dropped mine by 1.5 inch, and rather than stopping at the shoulder line, I just continued marking that line. One measurement you need when making any form of bubu is that extends from the center of the neck to the part of the arm where you want this to end. Okay, so I made use of about 24 inches, I think. Yes, so but then I measured the width of the neck from the center of the neck to the shoulder, and I just continued on that line. So having gotten the width of my bubu, I'll go ahead to mark out the half length. Yes, I made use of the half length solely because I needed to mark out the keyhole along the armhole region. So there I am marking the waistline at my half length, and also the full length of this piece was 34 inches thereabout. Now on the waistline, I took my waist circumference, divided it by 4, and I added 1 inch is allowance, and that was how I got this point right here. Now from the point I marked out, I marked 5 inches to the side because that's the width of the keyhole I am aiming for, and at the center of it I marked 3 inches above and below just to get the height of the keyhole that I am creating for this piece. So there I am connecting all of these dots together to make an oval shaped keyhole whose width is 5 inches and height of 6 inches. Okay, I just wanted the width to be slightly smaller than the height. Now this is what we have on my pattern. I'll be using the same paper to create the back neckline, so I don't need to create another pattern. I just need to mark out the back neckline, and that's what I'll be doing here. The neck depth for the back piece is just 1.5 inch, or did I make use of 1 inch? I can't remember, but I think it was 1 inch, guys. So I marked 1 inch depth, and I am creating the back neckline like so. So I'll be cutting out the pattern for the back first, just because the neckline is smaller, right? So after doing that, I can then mark out or cut out the front neckline, which is deeper. Okay, so here I am making use of a neck depth of 8.5 inches, and I just want to modify the front neckline. I don't just want a V shape or a circular shape, so I'm just using my free hand to, you know, mark out the shape of the neckline, which I eventually modified slightly when I was transferring to fabric. But at this stage I wanted it to be sharp, so I made it less sharp later on. But here is what we have. So you can play around with any shape of neckline you like, but for pieces like this, round shape or a cano shape will look really good. But in all, you want the neckline to be wide enough to take the head without struggle, because especially if you don't want to attach a zipper or a button to the back. Now this is what I have, having cut out the keyhole shape at the center of the pattern. So I'll be transferring this to fabric, and along the keyhole I added my 1/2 inch seam allowance, knowing fully well that I will need to sew these parts together by 1/2 inch at the end of the day. I also added a hemming allowance, which was a little bit more than I needed here. I think I made use of 3 inches, but I eventually needed just 1 inch allowance at the hem. So having transferred the pattern for the back, I am cutting out the front neckline so that I can place this pattern on the fabric and cut out the front piece. Along the side of this piece, I also added a 1-inch side seam allowance, and along the shoulder armhole region I added half an inch. Along the neckline I have half an inch seam allowance. Now let's move on to the sewing process. This entire outfit can be sewn in like an hour, guys. It's so easy to make. Now I'm laying the back front piece over the back piece, and we'll be sewing along the shoulder armhole line by half an inch on both sides. That's done. This is what we have right here. Now you can go ahead and overlock these allowances just to give it like a clean finishing. Now I actually didn't mention that I cut out facing for this, right? So the facing is just a replica of the neckline of the main piece, and I am attaching the front and back facing together along the shoulder by half an inch like so. I also pressed in a fusible interfacing on the wrong side of this neck facing. Now I'm just going to open up this piece and place the right side of the main fabric against the right side of the facing so that we can sew along the neckline by half an inch. So but before doing that, of course, you need to attach your facing to the main fabric, pin all the sides together. Make sure that the shoulder line of your facing aligns well with the shoulder line of the main bubu. Having achieved that evenness, you can go ahead and stitch together by half an inch. Once this is done, don't forget to notch round because it's a circular seam, right? And you need your seam to rest properly. So I went ahead to top stitch on the facing by 1/4 of an inch just to make it lay inside properly. That's done. This is what our neckline looks like, and now it is time to stitch our keyhole together. Now you're not just going to be placing the right side of the back over the right side of the front. It won't work. It will give you it will give you so much issue. I actually experienced that while making this, so I know what I'm saying. So just laying your piece this way, open up the front piece and go inside, that's in between the front and the back. Then you start turning round the keyhole using your pins to hold it together gradually until you have gone round the circle. So what I'm saying is you're still going to have your right side facing upward, but open up one of the pieces so that your seam can be hidden in between the two. Okay, you can't just turn the right side of the back over the right side of the front and achieve this. Once this two has been held together by pins, I'll go ahead to stitch round the keyhole by half an inch seam allowance. That's done. I went ahead to place notches all round. This is very important. So place your notches round the keyhole, then go ahead to give it a good press so it looks more relaxed, right? Now I'll be going ahead to fold the hem in by 1 inch and also the side by 1 inch. That's half an inch twice. That was what I used, but you can actually make use of any seam allowance you want. Now here is our keyhole bubu, looking pretty. There's something elegant about pieces like this, and the fact that this one is a monochrome, it just gives it that, you know, vibes, that class. So let me know if you'll be trying this out. If you do, please tag KemaFreak_. on Instagram. I'll be so happy to see you replicate this. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have had fun watching this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly do that. Please give this video a thumbs up and watch the other videos as well. Bye. See you in the next video.